Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Over a number of years, information started pouring into EPA that the estimate of the amount of fugitive methane escaping in gas and oil drilling been deeply underestimated. In 2011, the EPA put out its best estimates based on the information that was being presented. And this is relevant because methane is a global warming gas more potent than CO2. Gas companies didn't like this because, well, it presented a vision of natural gas being more damaging environmentally than folks had previously understood. Devon Energy is one of the groups that sought to cast doubt on this scientific information, and they came to you to be their spokesperson, and they asked, will you be our mouthpiece in casting doubt and send a letter we have drafted to the EPA? And you sent that letter. And I just want to ask, first, are you aware that methane is approximately 30 times more potent than carbon dioxide as a global warming gas?
I am, Senator.
Thank
the
you.
impact on human health.
That's the answer. Yes, thank you. So yes, no question. And on a 1 to 10 scale, how concerned are you about the impacts of fugitive methane in driving global warming?
Methane, as you indicated, has
1 to
more
10
impact.
scale, highly, 10, very, very concerned, or 1, not so concerned?
The quantities of methane in the atmosphere compared to CO2 is less, but it's far more potent, and it is something.
Are you concerned? I'm asking about your level of concern.
Yes.
Highly concerned?
I'm concerned.
Thank you. Do you acknowledge sending this letter to the EPA in October 2011?
Senator, that is a letter that's on my letterhead that was sent to the EPA, yes, with respect to the
Do you
issue.
acknowledge that 97% of the words in that letter came directly from Devon Energy?
You know, I've not looked at the percentages,
The
Senator.
statement that's been analyzed many times is that all of the 1,016 words, except for 37 words, were written directly by Devon Energy.
Senator, that was a step that was taken as Attorney General representing the interest of our state. Over 25%
Yes,
of
so
our
I'm
budget.
not going to ask that question. I was just asking if you copied the letter virtually word for word. You've acknowledged that, yes, it's in the record. People can count it. It's correct. All right. So a public office is about serving the public. There is a public concern over the impact of methane on global warming. There is scientific research showing that it's far more devastating than anticipated and far more is leaking than, but you used your office as a direct extension of an oil company rather than a direct extension of the interests of the public health of the people of Oklahoma. Do you acknowledge that you presented a private oil company's position rather than a position developed by the people of Oklahoma?
Senator, with respect, I disagree. The efforts that I took as Attorney General were representing the interest of the state of Oklahoma.
Earlier you said no, excuse me, I'm asking the questions. You said earlier you listened to everyone. In drafting this letter, you took an oil company's position, and then without consulting people who had diverse views about the impact, you sent it off. How can you present that as representing the people of Oklahoma when you simply only consulted an oil company to push its own point of view for its private profit?
Senator, there's an obligation the EPA has to follow processes as established by this body. The cost-benefit analysis under Section 112 is something that they have to engage in. There was a concern about the overestimated percentages that the EPA put in the record. It was a record-based challenge. That was the expression of the letter to the EPA, and it was representing the interest of an industry in the state of Oklahoma, not a company, an industry.
So my question was, what other groups, environmental groups or other groups did you consult so that you had that full perspective before representing simply a for-profit oil company using your official office and your official letterhead?
I consulted with other environmental officials in Oklahoma that regulate that industry and learned from them with respect to the concerns about the estimates that were provided by the EPA.
Can you provide this committee with information showing who you consulted in representing this letter specifically for Devon Energy? Because the information that's in the public realm only shows that they simply sent you a letter, asked you to send it, and you sent it without questions.
We have 7 or so individuals in our office that are involved in these kinds of issues, and we will collect the information they have and provide it to this body pursuant to the chairman's direction.
Your staff expanded substantially while you were in charge to 251 staff members. Why do you need an outside oil company to draft a letter when you have 250 people working for you?
Senator, as I've indicated, That was an effort that was protecting the state's interest and making sure that we made the voices of all Oklahomans heard on a very important industry to our state.
You said that all heard, but you only sent it on behalf of a single voice, the oil company. Thank you.